Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another indie comic book review. Guys, I apologize for the lateness of these videos. It's been a busy week. Last week we're winding down. My job is winding down now. We're at the end of the year almost. I don't know, I had a horrible Friday and Saturday. Saturday my head was basically buried in the pillow until we actually did the whole video. Splitting headache. And apparently my allergies decided to say hello. So, yeah, it's been very hard reading the books. So tonight we're doing the indies, so this should be up by Monday morning. Tomorrow, which would be Tuesday morning, all the way through Tuesday, the regular comic review, the big two, should be going up. And then after that, the spotlight videos, the recaps should be going up one by one. So look forward to all those throughout the week. Look forward to a couple of reviews also from myself on Frontline, and I got a lot of reviews from Mike to still post up on Frontline. Unfortunately, can't upload on two channels at the same time, so while I'm uploading from my channel, I unfortunately can't upload to Frontline. Maybe I'll leave the videos on my computer, and Mike will upload them when he gets home from work, because I work later than Mike sometimes, so we'll see. It'll work out in the end. Anyway, let's get into the books this week. We have 14 digital books, one that did not come out this week, which is the week of May 21st, 2014. And we have two physical copies. Yep. So let's start off with a book that did not come out this week, but these books have been amazing since I started reading them, and this is Argo Comics Anthology, issue number 3. I am amazed at how much my buddy Dan, he's done an amazing job with creating a universe of superheroes where every book, it's a different team.
And it has their own title and everything.
This book, and this book has Team North America, the Death Squad, and the second part to Havoc Patrol. And I actually did go back and read the last issue, so I'm caught up with Havoc Patrol up to this point now. And Dan has just, every book I've read so far, you know, Argo 5 always focused on Argo 5. And I know we saw Team North America before in Argo 5.
Yes, we have.
But the thing is, outside of Argo 5, in this series, Dan has created an amazing amount of new characters. Argo Comics, guys, is a universe of characters. There are a ton of characters here, and to be honest with you, I know if Dan had the spare time, and if Dan really wanted to, solo-ish comic series can come out of some of these characters. I could see it happening and them being awesome.
Or crossover.
And Team Comics, I would love to see Argo Comics presents Team North America. That would be very interesting. Or the Gold, you know, Alpha Team. There's so many, not Alpha Team, Gold Team. And Death Squad's another one. And the Havoc,
Havoc Patrol.
Thank you.
Or, like I was trying to tell you before, there could be a crossover between one of the two.
Well, they have had crossovers in Argo.
Yeah, I'm just saying in other teams.
But Dan's definitely created a humongous universe worth of characters. And guys, if you haven't checked out Argo Comics yet, it's argocomics.com. And I would definitely recommend start with the Argo Comics Anthology. Work your way over to Argo 5. And then if you are like Michael and you enjoy the giggity moments, you can definitely check out his favorite, which is Sorority of Power. But I've been very, I'm a dedicated reader of Argo 5. I can't wait for the next issue to come out. And I'm a real fan of Team North America after reading this issue. And also they appeared in Argo 5. And the Havoc Patrol is a really good series. And I love some of the characters actually in the Death Squad. So there are a lot of characters that I would love to see fleshed out as the years move forward with Argo Comics, and hopefully Dan will be doing that. I know there's a lot of stuff he's planning for Argo Comics. I would love to see lots more of a lot of the characters I read in this issue, but I don't want to go too far into it. I'll do the first story, and then you'll do the second, and then we'll both do the third.
Okay.
First story, Team North America. It focuses on Wild, and it's not spelled W-I-L-D, is W-I-L-D-E. And he's a demon. And he basically has an image of what demons are. And he's talking about an incident that happened, and I cannot pronounce this name. I'm going to butcher it, but he recalls back to a fight in central Mexico against Montezoltazan. Jeez, could you say it?
Where is it? Motezotizona.
There you go.
Mote.
Mr. Moda, okay. And he's explaining how every one of his teammates basically tries to take this humongous Titan down, and they all fail one at a time. And then he has his moment where he's finally able to, deliver the final blow to him. I'm not saying this guy's name. And then out of nowhere, Ultro, yeah, I said his name right, Ultro, yes, shows up, delivers the final blow. And I'm a fan of this character. I really like his character, and I wouldn't mind seeing a solo issue of him at some point, or a one-shot with him. But beside the point, he deals the final blow, so to speak, and Wild gets upset. He's like, why don't you just admit it? You don't want a demon to deliver the final blow. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? And everybody's like saying, just because you're a demon doesn't mean you're evil. You don't have to prove anything. And as a matter of fact, we find out that he's at this little, I don't know what you would call it, like a meeting, so to speak.
Yeah, like a meeting.
Like, I would say it looks like an AA kind of meeting. And then out of nowhere, I want to get her name right, Blackout shows up and she's like, you don't belong here, dude. We got stuff to do. And she just takes him out.
Says, you're not a demon, just let's get out there and work together, basically.
You're not defined by what you are, basically. Let's go make a difference in a better place in the world. And then you get this awesome splash page of Team North America. And again, I would really like to see a Team North America book, even if it's a one-shot. I'm not going to throw... I know Dan is a very, very, very busy person, and I don't want to throw extra work on him. But Dan, you shouldn't have shown me these books then, because there are a lot of things in these stories that I would love to see fleshed out. I feel like I'm dragging this so far. So
no, it's okay.
Second story is yours.
Yeah, so this is Havoc Patrol. The artwork's like really classically drawn, and
I just found it a little dark, but at times, but once it broke away from that, which it did halfway through, it was really good. Yeah.
So basically, there's like two supervillains that are in this comic book that are going after the Havoc Patrol, and they're really interesting people, by the way. That like they really know how to work together, and they talk about how they were assembled.
I love Sensei X.
Sensei X, yeah, I was actually gonna say like he was a really interesting character, and it looks like it doesn't work out so well because those two supervillains, they're like really big and muscular, and like really strong, and after a while, there was a little bit of it looks like that things don't look so well towards the end.
And it's to be continued.
Where it's to be continued.
So it leads into the next issue, which is issue 4.
Right, so basically it was a fight scene. I can't remember the villains' names, though, but they were big and muscular, believe me. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen next.
I do want to continue with the first part of this, and then I'll jump in. I did like the artwork for this second story.
Yeah, this is Tall Tales of Part
Havoc
2
Patrol.
of Havoc. What was the other one then? I said Havoc Patrol.
Other one was Death Squad.
Oh, it was Death Squad. Okay, my mistake.
Patrol.
The other one was Death Squad. This is Havoc Patrol. My apologies. So, in Havoc Patrol, we get 5 new people that...
well, they meet up with them in their folklore, like Davy Crockett,
right,
Pico's Bill, Joe McGarrick, Paul Bunyan, John Henry.
Right. And they're going to, like there's like this plan that they want to invade somewhere. Like, basically their objective, from what we saw from last issue.
One thing I liked was when Davy Crockett, where the Havoc Patrol, like, these are tall tales, they don't exist. He's like, so, you guys are from the future, so how about we just agree to disagree, and, because you guys are from the future, you guys aren't an easy idea to stomach either, so let's just agree that we're all here and deal with this. And she's like, touche, fine.
Okay, so, so with that, they're just trying to figure out a way to, the Havoc Patrol says that, whatever you need help with, we're here to help you as well.
Right.
So they're going to come up with a plan to invade this place where there's this emperor or something, like, what are you doing?
I'm looking for the name of the person. Go ahead.
Oh. So
Dr. Future.
Thank you. So they find out this big plate. They have like a blue bull, which I thought was pretty hilarious. And the artwork is like really drawn in a super awesome way. And the king actually has a force field, but see, here's what he does.
Doctor Future.
Your Doctor Future.
He reminds me of Magneto in that case with the
force field. Yeah, and what he does is that he teleports out of the force field and puts the Havoc Patrol inside the force field,
and that's where it's to be continued.
I was like, oh my god, how they're gonna get out of it is just beyond me. But okay.
Yeah,
and I just thought that was amazing. And then there's the cover art and
not cover art, the pinups.
The pinups.
And there's a ton of pinups.
Yeah, that one is my favorite one.
Yeah, gee, Mike, I wonder why that one is your favorite one.
I won't go into detail.
But I really enjoyed the book, and I would definitely recommend Argo Comics Anthology. It's a really good series so far. It introduces a lot of new characters. Like I said, Dan really took the time out to flesh out his universe. It's not specifically one book. It's Argo 5, Sorority of Power, and then the anthology, which covers the entire universe of other characters.
Right, I was just about to say, I like how...
Could you imagine if he ever did a crisis of his... Like, not a crisis, but like a worldwide, like every single character he created event?
That would be crazy. Something else. But only time will tell. But once again, it's argocomics.com, argocomics.com.
Right. So now let's get into this week's books. You go first.
Oh, me? Okay. Okay, I have only one physical copy this week from Archie Comics, Sonic the Hedgehog, issue 260.
60, huh?
60, which is a Versus variant. And in this story, there's like two stories. Like this is like the first part of basically where Sonic, Amy, and Rotor are going to find the Chaos Emeralds to put in the Gaia Temple before Dr. Eggman does. Mm-hmm. So Sonic and the rest meet up with Razor the Shark and Crusher the Chow, where he takes them back to his home world, and here's some artwork, which is very nice. And we learn that Coral the Beta says that basically they were called here by the spirits because they know of Sonic for some reason with the spirits. And all they're just trying to do is to find the Chaos Emeralds. We get a little more of the characters in general, which was very interesting. So as Sonic and Rotor are at the temple to find out about the Gaia Temple, they run to these people right here at the end. And that's to be continued in the next issue. Then we get to the Freedom Fighters and Light in the Dark Part 1, where their objective is they just want to sneak in the lair, grab the emerald, and just sneak right back out before Dr. Eggman finds out. And something like that. So they go in and they're just looking...
A lot of references to older stories.
Yeah, there's a lot of references to Sonic the Hedgehog, including that black chemical that went in Sonic where he's going to turn to a werehog sooner or later.
I just saw the August solicits for Sonic. It's the werehog story arc's going to start.
Oh boy, I knew it. And then in the end, basically, there's a shock look where they meet up with somebody, and we're not going to know until next time in The Light in the Dark Part 2. So, lots of interesting stuff, and this is, I would say it's a little bit jump-on friendly, because they do bring you back to Sonic the Hedgehog comic book, so I would say it is jump-on friendly. It's for the kids to read, too, if they've been reading Sonic the Hedgehog books, so, I would recommend it.
Now, I got this book after reading it digitally. I did not want to not have a physical copy, and as a matter of fact, I probably will be getting physical copies of this book. It only comes out once a month, and it is Invincible. I got the Ryan Ottley sketch cover. This is Invincible 111. This was claimed to be the best jumping on point, a new story, a new beginning, a new, I don't know, the original cover said it all, though. You know, basically new paths. Everything looks like that there. You know, nothing's the same anymore. Everything changes. Trees. But don't read that book. It was boring.
Oh, please.
So, it takes up right where the last issue of Invincible left off, where Mark was in a very precarious situation, which basically he shrugs off right away. And then there's Robot, who basically turned. and he not only this is first of all, let me explain to you guys. This was a very graphic, very
Yeah.
very bloody book, and when I say very bloody, I mean it only took 2 pages for this book to become very bloody.
Even I'm saying, oh my god.
Spoiler alert here, but this is about a 2-week-old book now. Robot kills Cecil, and Mark takes out Robot, but Robot says he's also somewhere else. Where is he? Where Adam Eve is. Mark literally rushes to Adam Eve, or Eve. I like calling her Eve. I don't like calling her Adam Eve for some reason. So he tries to get Eve out of there. It doesn't work, and well, the blood and gore continues because Eve loses her leg and she's pregnant.
I was just about to say, yeah, she's pregnant also.
So Mark tries to get her out of there as soon as he can, and he just races straight for his dad on the moon. And remember, Mark was sent away for 6 months. Mark was gone, so his father doesn't even know he's back until this very moment. And yeah, it looks like Robot is about to go to war, and he's so casual. He's like, "Oh well, let the slaughter begin." And he's got such a blank look, like, okay, whatever's gonna happen. Let's start this and end it. He basically wants to rule the world, but he can't do it as long as Mark's around. So he wants to destroy Mark and everybody he holds close. Awesome new direction for the book. Would I say jump on Friendly? Absolutely not, because if you don't know this book, if you haven't read it before, if you don't know the premise of it, and you just say, hey, Invincible 111, I'm going to buy it because it says new this, new that, new the other thing on the regular cover, you will be completely and utterly lost in this book. I would recommend get the compendium. There are 2 compendiums out there. There's compendium 1 and 2, which will bring you all the way up to issue 96.
Oh, wow.
And then you're only about 20-ish episodes behind.
Issues, you mean?
Issues.
You said episodes.
Oh, I'm just in the episodes today. So you come back at 96, and now you're at 110, 111. You only have to get issues number 97 all the way through to 111, which isn't too much.
Right.
Issue 100 was wow, and I know because I got that one.
I remember that because that was sick.
But definitely something I would say I would recommend this series. It's definitely taking a turn now, but once again, if you haven't read it, I wouldn't say jump on this book. I would say if you want to jump on at any moment, go back a couple of story arcs and start from there. I know the Vermilion War was very... I know a lot of people got off of Invincible during that time and then came back on after it. Maybe right after the war, try to jump in there. But again, I would recommend reading at least the first couple of trade paperbacks. If you're not going to dedicate to 2 compendiums, either dedicate your money to 1 or get at least 2 or 3 trade paperbacks so you get the beginning of Invincible. But it's awesome. Like I said, that's the sketch cover. If you haven't bought them in stores by now, I would say get it on Comixology, because I know issue 110 is sold out and issue 111 also has disappeared off shelves. I think the only one still available on Midtown is the blank variant, which is for conventions and whatnot. So if you don't mind having a blank cover, get that one. So now we're going on to the digital books. This is going to be a long indie review. And I don't want to start with this book. Let's start with a different company. Let's start with this book, because you said you were falling off.
Yeah. Translucid, part 2 of 6. Guys, I read this comic book, and I don't know, like, how to say about the story. Like, it's just really, like, more of a backstory of, I forgot what his name was, like, the one that turns into, the one that's a superhero in the story, mainly. I forgot what his name was. Talks about, like, his childhood life. Like, he had a brother who was always there for him, and he's, like, a football player. And he's, like, saying, that, everything in the house, I know everything's messed up. Their father is drunk, and the mother is just, like, she's just keeping the father because of the money and everything. So it's a very heartfelt story that they explain in this story, and the brother just wants to just take him out of there and to live with him and stuff like that, and to not be exposed to this family situation. So There is a scene though with the knife where he was going to kill the father, but he didn't. And then it relates to like his own lair, and it just keeps going back and forth, between the present and the past. And then there was like one scene where they go to church where the brother just said, I can't take this anymore, like that he's just going to move out because of everything that's going on. And basically leaves the brother. And there's also a bridge that kind of reminds me of the Verrazano Bridge.
Yeah, it does. I was going to say that.
Yeah. And then he meets up with this horse character again where there's like a huge long dialogue where he was going to kill the horse but then didn't. And what he does to the bridge is he causes the bridge to collapse and everything. And yeah, after I read this, I was so like mixed up. Like, I don't know if I'm like, I don't know if you guys are lost or anything while I'm reviewing this, because guys, I really don't think I could read the next issue. I mean, if this was like a physical copy, I'd probably either drop it or give another issue a chance, but if I see the next issue like this, then I'm just not going to read it no more. It didn't grab me. Like, the story of the hero, I can't remember his name. That's the one that was a little bit interesting, but after that, just...
So I'll give it another issue.
I'll
It's
give
all
it
digital.
another issue.
Dark
Something
Horse.
better, yes.
The Witcher, part 3 of 5.
Yes. And in The Witcher, we saw in the last part where, I think his name is Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob went in the dungeon where this girl led him to. And he's fighting off against all these skeletons and whatnot, and...
Arid?
Yeah, the Arids. Yeah, thank you. And, so he just makes his way out of there. And the woman that he saw from last issue thought that she put him in, like, a trap. Like he said to her, this is all a trap, and you try to get me killed. And then he got, what was his name?
His name isn't Jacob. His name is Gerald.
Yeah, Gerald. Yeah, the guy's name is Jacob. Yeah. And he's like saying, she didn't kill you if, she called me to help you. So, I don't really trust her in this comic book because there's something fishy about her in some sort of way. So, Jacob's still going to try going all over the house to still try to find his wife, whereas Garrett and the lady that's with him, can't remember her name for the life of me. I've read so many books this week. Well, anyway, she explains about her story as well. Her little backstory of, how, how she became who she is and stuff. So, there's, like, other stuff that they, I like that they go into, like, these new rooms in the house and everything. And, it's really starting to get very interesting with these paintings, and you get to learn more about the house in an interesting way, and I actually enjoyed reading that. And then there's these birds that are going around places, and the birds actually signify something in this book. And if you want to know what they signify, I should definitely read the comic book, because the way that they're going in this direction is a huge dark path that leads it to be very interesting. So, I would say definitely pick up this comic book. It's really interesting, and, I don't trust the girl, but, it's getting, to be really interesting in this comic book. I definitely recommend you guys check it out.
Alright, so let's see.
Want to do that one?
Actually, wait, I have one.
Oh.
Buffy, the Vampire Slayer, Season 10, issue... See, I was about to say episode. Issue number 3. So, Xander actually brought Dracula, after convincing, back to Buffy, claiming that the rules have changed, that common vampires basically have more power than Dracula. And he's a pompous ass, I will say that. And he keeps trying to convince Xander to be his manservant again. And you know there's something going on between Xander and her name just slips me because it's not Dawn.
Yeah, Dawn.
And there's something Dawn wants to tell Xander, but she's interrupted again by Dracula, and Dracula's like, why don't we just write our own rules in the book? If the pages are blank, obviously anything that's written in there is law.
Right.
And and of course, oh man, Giles won't do it. So Dracula's like, fine, then let me do it. And Giles is like, no, and he's about to do some type of a magic on Dracula, but then guess what? Xander kind of loses it. He becomes Dracula's manservant again, and Dawn tries to snap him out of it. It doesn't work. And in the end, Dracula gets his book, and
we didn't see that coming.
Somebody, I forgot his name, tries to convince Dawn to tell Xander that she loves him. She says it, but Xander knows that she's lying, and he leaves with Dracula, and that's when Buffy
First of all,
comes back.
why would they keep, like, why were they, like, Dracula was with them? Like, didn't they know that he was, you know...
He was supposed to be the head honcho of vampires, and they wanted to know... They thought he was the one changing the rules, and it wasn't him. So now he wanted to stay and find out what was going on and try to get down to who was doing it. But then when he found out about the book...
I'm just saying, when it comes to Dracula's, you know, sometimes you can't trust them. Especially being in the same room.
I'm shocked that Xander did a complete change. I was shocked when I got towards the end of the book. But then again, they were dropping so many hints about Xander being under Dracula's hypnosis that,
right.
Yeah.
That's
you can tell that that's what happened.
Yeah.
So, I would definitely recommend it, though. Really good book. Let's see, do we have any more Dark Horse books before we move forward? No. So, let's go into Dynamite.
Yeah, but first we should...
Yes, so give us just 2 seconds and then we're going to go into the first book from Dynamite. Alright, we're back, and let's start off with Green Hornet, issue number 12. And guys, actually, this was the last book I read. I had to skim through it, but this basically wraps up the whole Dugan story, that's for sure. Green Hornet basically sets up Dugan, and Dugan gets taken to an interrogation room where they interrogate him on where his wife is, and Dugan admits that he killed her, and this is all because of what he did to Fulton's daughter. And Green Hornet, Brett can't get the image of her eyes when her eyes and his met right before she died, and that haunts him throughout the whole issue. The Germans get taken care of, and then, spoiler alert here, they fake the Green Hornet's death. I'm abbreviating this book like crazy because this is a really good book. I don't know why people really jump down. Maybe it's because I haven't read any Green Hornet before, and that's why people aren't exactly liking it as much as the previous volumes. I'd love to see Ron Fortier go back on the book.
Yeah,
I support that. But anyway, Britt fakes the Green Hornet's death, and then he's like, you know what, maybe we should retire completely. Kato goes to grab the spare costumes to burn them, and then they're not there. And what does that mean? As Britt says, it means it won't stop. And it says, to be continued. So
there's a lot of interesting...
We'll find out where the costumes went, and it was a really good cliffhanger. I would definitely recommend Green Hornet. In my opinion, I'm really enjoying the book. Now we'll go on to the book that you were going to do right before we switched over once I find it. There we go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is Flash Gordon issue number 2. And this is where in the last issue where they took the portal into a different place, and they're being pampered and treated very nicely by these blue people, so to say. And you know, there's like they're at this arena where there's like this event where you have to try to get on top of this big beetle-like thing, and it's so slippery that no one was able to do it. And Flash Gordon actually did it in a way that was interesting, and he gets a prize. Well, they were going to dine with them, but he already did. And then there's this interesting one with the archer with the arrow shooting at the things. And when he was using the arrow, the funny part was like saying, "I'm not sure if you're able to reach the top one." Then at mid-sentence, he just does it, and I thought that was pretty funny. But wait, go a little bit slower, because at one scene, there was one of the king's men that came that said there's this guy, because they don't know his name is Flash Gordon. They just know him as a different name. So they said that there was this guy, Flash Gordon, who, was doing the whole invading thing, with trying to, like from what we saw in the last issue. But then, when something was going on that Flash could do, he was going to do it, to save the day and everything. And then when his friend said Flash, that set the trigger of him saying Flash Gordon, knowing that that's really him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not good, because he's a wanted man, Flash Gordon, along with the people who are with him. So I mean, if you want to find out why and everything, definitely read the book. But after I saw that, I said, wow, he's got a lot of stuff on his hands in this one.
And the Shadow ongoing series may be over, but the miniseries are plentiful.
Yep.
And this is an issue number 1. The Shadow Midnight in Moscow, issue number 1.
Yes.
So, Mike, how was it?
This takes place in New York City in I would say the early 1930s or 40s.
1949.
Okay, thank you. 1949, basically when the World War was going on at the time. So, it talks about his character, like what he does, like he goes around to serve justice by getting rid of evil because the Shadow knows and all that. And he also was partnered with Jericho, which I didn't know actually until I read this, because I thought he worked by himself, because I never knew he had a partner. And then it goes into, about New York back in the olden times, how things were different. And there's a strange golden piece that's actually played in this comic book for, important reasons. And if you want to know what it is, then you could definitely read the comic book, because I don't want to give too much away. So in this comic also, there's one part where it's New Year's Eve and everyone's going to Times Square and, remembering how they got victory and everything. And there's one scene where, what's the Shadow's real name? I can't remember. I think it starts with the letter J. No, you could go down, because I think she says the name. Like, oh God, I hate that.
Benedict Stark?
No, not Benedict Stark. Either it was, well, basically on New Year's, like they're at a New Year's party, and his wife Margot said that that he does all these things, and that he should spend time with her instead of just going out there and doing all these crimes and everything. So after that, once I get his name, because I know his name just escapes me, but basically at the end of the issue,
it's too late for me to remember it either. He
tells Margot basically, from this point on, the Shadow is retired, and he just completely stops cold turkey. Until probably something else is going to come up, and then he's going to go back to being Shadow and saying, oh, I'm going to be
Lamont Cranston.
Thank you. Lamont Cranston. Can't believe I forget these names. My apologies.
Alright, we're going to break away from Shadow for one issue.
Okay.
Let's go into Solar, Man of the Atom, issue number 2.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear what happens next, because after the last issue there was a huge explosion.
Yeah. This basically focuses more on Erica, who is the strong pinpoint to this, and she keeps getting like these nightmares about about the fire and everything, and the accident that happened last time, which gave her so much trauma. And basically she just wants her cat and everything, because of all this thing that's happening. And she's just been having these traumatized dreams of going back in the past, and at the ending sequence, it's all fire from what she experienced from her accident. So she's going around and she's trying to, like figure out like why she's having these dreams and what the hell is going on. And we find out that as there's this big robot that comes in there, that she herself has these powers. And she doesn't, and she's like saying like, how am I doing all this math and everything? Because this is all about math of Einstein's equals MC squared.
I knew the daughter was going to be it.
No, that's not her daughter. That's actually
No, I knew his daughter was going to be the next Solar.
Oh, that one, yeah, because she has the powers, and she didn't want to do this, but the robot, causing all havoc and everything happened. But then in the end of this issue, her father actually comes back in the end because he wasn't dead, because they thought that he was dead from, not finding his body or anything. But sure enough, he's fine with these equations and all this other stuff. And half I know, the other half, to be honest, I really don't know, because I'm not really a fan of math. But really interesting. It focuses, like I said, on Erica's character, which actually gives me a better understanding about her character now that she was a little bit introduced in the last issue, but now it's good that she was in this
The Shadow, ready?
Yeah.
The Shadow, Year 1, Issue number 9. New story
Yes.
arc, I believe, right?
I believe it is, because, well, no, that wasn't a new story arc. The one in Moscow was.
Yeah, but aren't we? Never mind, go ahead.
Alright, well, anyway, in this comic book, he's in China, once again, and basically there's this big antagonist, or villain, I should say, in this comic book that's really like, I can't remember his name, like, he basically just wants to make everything his own and just bring everything to order. It's just like a big, huge thing that they talked about in this comic book. And then, oh, I had a little burp there. So then the Shadow wants to find out more about this whole thing of what's going on. And, like, he basically wants to investigate. So,
Leopold.
yeah, Leopold, with his daughter just says, that you're going to be a slave to this person. And the Shadow comes in and says that, the Shadow knows what you're doing is wrong, where he winds up killing him, and you see the ring on his finger, which actually plays a role. And then he meets up with this person that, I think Mr. Winters, his name is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When he meets with Mr. Winters, like, he, like, tries to get the Shadow, but in the end, he gets him good, because, let's just say in the next issue, he falls into a pit of snakes. Or cobra snakes, so to say, in the next issue. So, he's just saying that things are going to be, where things bite you until you know it and stuff like that. So, let's hope he makes it out of there alive, because that was something else.
So guess what's back, everybody? Saga, issue number 19. New chapter, new everything. Continuation from where we left off. Prince, what's his name? Robot, the 4th, or the whatever number he is, his son is born. But he's still missing because of what happened in the last story arc at the very end. The others are still, Marco and Felicia are still hanging low. She becomes an actress to make money. He stays home and takes care of the baby.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, they're supposed to be keeping a low profile. I'm skipping the whole middle. If you want to see it, you got to read it yourself. So, Marcos' mom actually lets the cat out of the bag that he had taken the daughter out for a bit, and it fuels this whole huge argument between Marco and Felicia. And then the daughter wakes up, and remember, the book is told in the perspective of the daughter as if she's writing this in her diary, or if this is like her own story.
So basically it's like a journal that she writes. Okay.
And the last page sets up for, I guess, the rest of this story arc or this chapter,
Oh.
and this is the story of how my parents split up. Now, obviously, we now know that the parents are going to split up. The question is, will they get back together again?
Only time will tell.
Saga has been an amazing story. I've been really enjoying
it. Has it been like a month or two since the other?
Yeah, they took a 2-month break.
Yeah.
And Saga's just been an amazing book. It hasn't missed a beat yet, in my opinion. And I'm excited and I'm nervous to see this next chapter of the story unfold, because when you hear that the main characters from the first story, who were so tight, are going to break up now in the second chapter, that's
something
like,
else
wow.
right there. Is this one? Oh, it's that one. Okay.
Let's start with Star Mage issue number 2.
So in Star Mage, I'm forgetting the kid's name. Wow. Like, we saw him in the last issue where he's in the spaceship with this guy who tells him that he's a prince, and he wants to teach him basically everything in order to be the person who he's supposed to be. So there's like a huge big dialogue and everything with lots of stuff that's about
lots
to
of
come.
talking.
Yeah, there is lots and lots of talking, but the artwork is really realistically drawn in an amazing way. And he has this new power that he can control like fire, but he has to like say the words in order, like, you know how Human Torch says flame on and he turns fire. Basically, he has to say a secret word of that, and he's trying to learn his new powers, like concentrating and stuff like that. So, and then there's this dream where he goes into this universe where he comes in saying, never go there ever again until, because he could see what he's dreaming, obviously, which is kind of creepy in a way. But beside the point, so they go into this kingdom where he meets up with this person he hasn't met up with in a very long time, and tells him about who the boy is, and that he's going to be prince if he learns to go in the right direction. And they meet up with this king also, who introduces him to the king, and he really doesn't like him that much, because I don't know if it's because he doesn't trust him in some sort of way, or if he's gonna follow the rules, and they just think that he's just bad news and that they should just kill him in some sort of way, just because of that reason. So with that, it's to be continued.
What a way to leave a book off.
Yeah, I mean, just to, he's just a kid. I mean, there's lots of explanations in the book. There was just so much talking, I could just remember some and not all.
Dexter's Laboratory, issue number 2. How was it?
Oh my god. Oh, there's a Samurai Jack cover.
Yeah,
also.
I know.
And he appears in one panel, actually. But anyway, Dexter is living without a sister. Because that's what he wanted because of all this other stuff. But I'll get to that. So he's living a life without a sister, where he's like saying, do you know where and who Dee Dee is? And the parents like saying, oh, that's silly. We never had another child. That you're the only child that they had. So he goes to his laboratory, and he's like saying, no Dee Dee, no ruining my inventions and everything. So he's making his own inventions, and his mother, I guess, semi-finding out he has a laboratory and being okay with it. So he's just making everything, and he's like saying, I made so many things, but I don't know what to make anymore because Dee Dee always ruined my inventions, and now I don't know what to make anymore. So guess what he does? He now wants to go into into another time dimension, and guess what he wants to do? Get his sister back. I'm like saying, okay, you didn't want her to be in your life because of all this, and that's a Samurai Jack post, one panel, by the way. And now you don't have no more inventions to do. Now you want to get her back, and where he lands into is very girly-like. And the next cover says it all of what he's about to experience.
Hey, Mike, maybe I'll have to read My Little Pony.
How about no? Let's go to the next book, Indestructible.
Isn't this the last issue?
I don't think so, but
Okay.
well, this is issue number 6, and in this comic book, there was like an attack on the agent Zimmerman, and I guess Stoner is his name, was Stone, whatever, and you know, he's just saying, you know, hypothetically speaking, you know, what would you do in a situation of 2 guys that are unconscious, and then the guy from League of Defenders visits him, and they get a little hoo-hoo and stuff like that, like a little tipsy with drinks. Stoner's brother, though, is very jealous of him, like saying, you know, like how did he get powers and everything? Like, remember when we did this, this, and that? And he was like, you know, his brother's a real whiner. So, anyway, so Stoner and his name, like, can't remember. Like,
Stop with the names right now.
yeah, I'm just gonna stop because it's just losing me every time I'm trying to remember what happens. Zimmerman comes back alive. You know, that you know, became like he didn't lose his conscious mind again or something, and there's this one scene where he has been invited to a tower for a photo shoot, but the photo shoot that he goes to is basically a nudity photos. Basically, that he's known as the Man of Stone. Let's just say that he's not so crazy about, and there's this one guy that's gonna make him do it, or else he burns. Because he has the power. Because the guy has the power to make people burn. So, oh boy, things are gonna start heating up in that studio. If you get my drift. So we're gonna find out what happens next time in Indestructible.
I'm glad I dropped this book. It looks too weird for me.
It does get weird.
This book, however, I did like reading, and that is The Seventh Sword, issue number 2.
Yes. So in the Seventh Sword is it talks about, from what happened last issue, that the father of this woman that was in the temple, like, he died because of what was going on. And also one of his companions meets up with him. What's his name? Like, Aaron meets with him. And, his name was Daniel Cray. That's
right.
his name. Daniel Cray. So, there's like a whole big dialogue where this woman's like saying, you know, we're not sure if we should trust Daniel Cray because there's a big thing that's happening, and we need his.
We need him, or we need something from him.
Yeah, like his samurai skills.
And he says, "I'm one person. I can't do it." And he says, "I won't do it." And then she says, "Okay, fine. You don't want to do it. You don't have to. Train us so we can fight against."
In 2 weeks to do it.
Yeah. And he decides to train them, and obviously he'll probably stand with them. You get a little bit more background on him also.
Right. And then what he does is that, you know, they get a group of people together, and he's like saying, you know, also he does this thing where he reads swords also, which was pretty cool. So there's a big thing where he gets people on there, he says, you, and you, take your name off the board because...
2 old people, 1 child.
Right. So he says that this is going to be physically and mentally the biggest challenge all of you are going to have to go through.
And in the end, he's only going to have 6.
And in the end, he's only going to have 6. Only one that can yield the sword and know how to do the samurai. There was another word for it.
Bushido.
Bushido. Like, he's going to just teach them how to do so. And I like this page where he says, you know, my name is Daniel Cray, and I am the Bushido samurai, and I thought that was pretty cool. And even the next cover.
I'm a fan of the series. I like the artwork, and the story looks really awesome.
Yeah, so basically, in short, to brief it, there's something coming, and it's up to Daniel Cray to teach the apprentices on how to yield the sword in order to
protect
the town. And that way they know how to use the Bushido and probably pass it down to generation. Everything else. There you go. Really good stuff. One of my closest books of the week.
And that's it for this review, guys. Don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, and Zone4Podcast.com. Together we're your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Hopefully by this time next week I'll be feeling better and have a couple more books to talk about. Like I said, look forward to all the recaps to come out throughout the week. Tomorrow will be the big 2.
Yep.
And yeah, so hopefully everything will start coming out on time. Stuff's coming out on Brooklyn Boys and Comic Frontline as soon as I have the extra time to at least put stuff on the computer for him to upload. And until then, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we will see you guys in the next review.
Later, everybody.